you doing?
Good. Get a little closer to that microphone, a little louder, a little more pep there, my friend.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
No, try it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the other one. Sorry.
All right.
All right, we got it. We have it fixed. We
Is
have
that
a little
better?
technical issue.
That is much better. That is 100% better.
Beautiful. Okay. Sorry about that.
All right. So always good to hear your voice, Attorney Frank. I think that sounds kind of cool. I'm going to drop the cease and I'm just going Attorney Frank and Attorney DeVecchio. That sounds kind of cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Let's take some calls. You're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Hello there.
I'm sorry, I got to wait for Dave Beatrice to be there. I'll call back.
Why do you have to wait for Attorney Beatrice?
Wow,
I guess you guys
Frank, Frank, I have never felt so slighted in all my life. Are you kidding me?
What?
Did that just happen, Ron? Did that just happen?
Yes, he brought up a good point. I think I'm going to leave too. I'm waiting for Attorney Beatrice too.
All right,
you know what?
Go ahead, Ron. I'll take over the show. Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears.
Yes, excuse me. It's Attorney Beatrice there. You guys just aren't good enough. All right.
Wow, we got
Frank.
That's a little painful.
If I was on
let's
my
try.
own, I would really be that would hurt my emotions. I would be
Yes.
offended.
Let's try another one. You're on the air. Hello.
Oh, good evening. Beautiful weather, isn't it?
Oh, I like it better than that 90-degree weather.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I have a legal question about donating a vehicle, and I'm not sure if he can provide any answers for me. My main question is...
Well, they're not Attorney Beatrice, but they'll try.
Okay. I'm sure they'll do a good job as far as they know, because, it's about vehicles. I looked up the BMV site, and I got so confused when I looked on the site. The car is 20 years old, so hopefully it's accepted as is. It's running in fine shape, but, anything can happen.
What do you want to do with it? Sell it?
No, donate it. But what I'm concerned about is how we make the transfer, because there are two articles that were in the paper where it says donate a vehicle and all it gives you is a telephone number. It helps the vets. Another one said that they do all of the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
they'll come pick it up and everything. But I was concerned legally that I have the title. I don't know if I sign it in front of them.
Yes.
Do I write on there as is? The car's 20 years old.
What kind of car is it?
Oh, it's a beautiful Monte Carlo.
So why don't you sell it?
Well,
to
no,
somebody who
listen, she wants to donate it.
Listen, I'm trying to make her some money.
I mean,
I know, but it's
call,
a 20.
Call 1-800-77-CARS-for-KIDS.
No, she wants to give it to the vets. Here's my point, Mark. Boy, sometimes I wish Attorney Beatrice was here. Just kidding. All right. Here, I mean, you got a 20-year-old car. It's in great shape, right?
Yeah.
And it runs. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's never been in an accident or anything.
Yeah.
It's only got
wouldn't-
60,000 miles on it.
Well, why wouldn't you sell it to someone who needs a
She
car?
doesn't need the money.
If somebody needs a car, you could say, okay, go sell it for whatever, $1,000 to somebody who needs a car.
I love your
Well, the
charitable
thing is-
heart and your nature. Donate your car. Make sure that the paperwork is all lined up. If you're going to donate it to a reputable company, they will have someone to walk you through the transfer. So you have to make sure, and I understand once you sign over your title, you have to make sure that they then register that title and do everything that they're supposed to do.
Yes.
So
Yeah, see, that's what I was concerned about. I looked it up on the internet, and there's so many rules, and then it said something about taking off your license plates and surrendering them to the BMV.
yes,
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
I mean, there's a lot involved, so I was just curious if you had any advice for me.
Take
Yeah,
off
I got
your license
advice.
plate,
Sell your car to
Sell your
someone.
car, yeah.
donate it.
That's
You
no,
don't have a
so-
charitable
look-
heart because a lot of people are in need of donations. So go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, but there's a lot of 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-olds that need a good, reliable used car. They
Yeah,
can't
I know
find
what a
one.
17,
They got
18-year-old
$1,100,
Ron Verb would have done in that
$1,200.
car.
She could make a kid's dream come true. Don't you want that to happen? Think about that. It's who wants to donate a car and have them go smash it for the scrap value? That's
Yeah, well, I didn't know. Like I said, we thought of that. It's 20 years old.
so
but
what? It still runs and it's not a mess. You know what? I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you real quick. I'm 67 years old. Should I just throw the towel in?
Oh, you're a youngin'.
Right. I mean, geez, you're acting like 20 years old is old.
Well,
I'm 75, so
Well, you
I'm
obviously.
older than you, much older. But
Yes.
Ron, you should make her
sound
an
very
offer.
young.
Ron, you should make her an offer for that car. Make her an offer.
I don't need a car, though.
It's a collector's item.
It is. It's a collector's
But
item.
but you know, I'm thinking. Do you know how many young people I know that tell me how hard, or parents I know that tell me how hard it is to find an affordable car for their young kids to be able to drive? And you know, you got to get a car so you can make out and all that kind of stuff. You need some wheels.
Yeah, but sadly, Ron, you're right. But I think the way
Wait a
kids
minute.
work-
Could you say that again, Frank?
You're right.
Sadly,
You're
Ron.
right.
No,
Thank
no,
you,
no,
Frank.
no. I mean,
What
but
is he
the
right
way
about?
kids
What
are.
is he right about?
No, what he said about young kids that need cars, but affordable cars. The problem now
Okay, I agree.
is I think a 20-year-old Monte Carlo would be awesome. This generation, they'd be like, no, I need a 2023 or so. Like they wouldn't take it.
Oh, they
Tesla.
couldn't. Yeah, they could.
Yeah. They
Oh.
want an SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Old
When
Monte
I was a
Carlos
young-
are built like SUVs.
Here's
When
what
I was a young kid, I just wanted a station wagon.
my advice. Here's my advice. So
Okay. I
you
want
ha-
your advice.
you have a punch list of items that they recommend you do. One of them is remove the license plates and surrender them to
Sure.
the BMV. By all means, you have to do that because that would then relieve you from the responsibility of that vehicle, especially once you sign the title over, give back the license plates. Now, you know, you're not liable because it is no longer you surrendered ownership of the car to somebody else. Make sure all the documents are in place. Make sure everything's signed. Make sure you get copies of everything that you need to show a transfer from you to them so that you could clearly show that you are no longer responsible for the vehicle or anything that happens involving this vehicle. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
very important.
You know what I'm thinking she should do?
What?
Tell me, Frank, if you don't think this is a good idea. I think she should put it in a demolition derby driven by the house band and NVR club.
Yes.
What do you say?
We're in. We
The
are.
demolition derby. I
No,
like
no,
it.
no. Just
Demolition
go with a
derby.
demolition.
Then
No,
you
no,
can
no.
then you can donate it because when you donate it, they just they scrap it and get the scrap value from it. But this car runs and is good shape. Put DeVecchio with a motorcycle helmet in it
No,
out of the
I'll get
Canfield
Pinky
Fair.
Tuscadero to drive my car.
You know what I
That's
mean?
going back.
Or
Evil
put Frank
Knievel.
Cassis in it, you know, and we'll forget the bocce and all that kind of stuff. Frank, it's time to step up to the
Listen, those
derby.
demolition derbies are the real deal.
Yes,
we take
they
my
are.
kids to the
Oh.
monster trucks. When those things jump up and land on cars, I'm like, I mean, that is really cool.
You know what? I got another idea for her. You instead of donating your car, sell it to Attorney Beatrice. He bought a Mercedes and it's a girl's car and he looks a little
Yeah.
light in the loafers.
Listen, if
All
you
right.
want to donate something to Beatrice to drive, it's got to be a Humvee.
All right.
military
Thanks,
grade.
thanks for your call. yeah, really. I mean, it's
Crash Bandicoot.
it's terrible. It's absolutely
He
terrible.
drives by
Uh,
sound.
What's that?
It's like a bat.
David drives by sound. He certainly doesn't drive by sight. He drives by sound.
You know, there hasn't been an attorney that's ever worked at the firm that hasn't ridden with him in fear, total fear, and said, "I never will do that ever
I
again."
lost years off my life. Years.
I got young
Yeah.
kids. That's what I told him last time I drove with them. I beat David. I have young kids. I'm trying to raise them. And I don't
Right.
know if I'm
Can
doing
I-
good or not, but I'm trying. I'd
But
like
you
to
wanna
at
be
least keep
present.
trying.
And you cannot
Yeah.
be a passenger in his car ever again.
Oh, his this coffee thing kept coming up on his dashboard. I didn't know what was going on. Like, what I go, but I couldn't see it. I said, your engine light keeps coming on. What's wrong with your car? He kept like poo-pooing me, like, no. And finally I looked over. It was saying, you need a coffee to take a rest because he was hitting so many lines going back and forth. I said, yeah, and I wanted to drive.
When I was in the car with him, he was talking on the phone, playing Candy Crush, telling a story, talking to people in the back seat.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? I'll walk.
You know, and
I'll walk.
usually
I'm in Cleveland, but I'll walk.
usually he throws the whole seniority thing at me and makes me drive, which I love.
Yeah,
I got
I'd
no
rather
issue.
drive.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna, God willing, get home to my family, or I got a way better chance. And you know, sometimes when he doesn't want me to, just for whatever reason, no, I'm driving, and boy, is it an experience.
Well, I'll
Not a
tell you
good
this,
one.
guys.
Not a good experience.
For if you guys ever have to do that again, I mean, I'm going to give you some advice. You might not take it, but if you ever have to ride with him again, put on an adult diaper because you're going to need it. All
And
right.
bring rosary beads.
There you go. You're on the air with the attorneys. Hello.
Hi. I wanted to ask if I could put up a like a Ring camera or a spy camera in my mother-in-law's assisted living place,
Ooh, that's
apartment,
a great question.
or
I don't
nursing
think you
home?
could. I don't think you could because it's not your property. I don't think you have the authority to do it. I think it would be a violation of their policies. I know that a lot of those places prohibit any kind of cameras. They should have their own cameras, however. So what you could probably access their cameras if you need to.
But there probably isn't a camera in each room. By the way, I would ask her this question. If you put up a Ring camera, you need access to the internet, and they're probably not going to give you access to their internet.
And the other issue you have with the Ring camera is it records voices. And Ohio's one-party consent state. So you can't if you were technically recording multiple people talking, if there were two nurses and your mother-in-law in the room and everybody was talking, you would run into a whole bunch of problems, unfortunately.
But it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I
a
understand
lot
why
of
she would
people,
want
I
to
can
do it.
understand
right?
why. I can understand why people would want to do it. 100%, I can understand. But it's just, unfortunately, that's why I think you've got to.
Oh, wait a second. All right. So, all right. I Googled it and I said in Ohio now I don't know how reliable, but it says, yes, in Ohio, residents of long-term care facilities, including assisted living, can have electronic monitoring devices like Ring cameras installed in their rooms under certain conditions, thanks to Esther's Law. The law aims to combat elder abuse and neglect by allowing residents or their representatives to authorize and install such devices.
Yeah, I think you need to get it approved, though. Like, I don't
know
that there should be a few steps that you'd have to jump through to get that.
You have to have authorization of the resident or the legal representative. You have to have a roommate's consent. The facilities must have a prescribed form for residents to authorize the installation and use of the device.
Yeah, so I think you
You're
need the
responsible for the
facility on
cost.
board as well.
Yeah, but under Esther's Law, I think you have
Well,
some. I
you
think
can
have-
record anybody anywhere if they give you consent. So it does. And Esther's Law may be the vehicle ultimately where you can kind of.
Yeah, they can't deny it under Esther's Law. So, but there's certain things you have to comply with to do it.
Go to is she in a assisted living or nursing home?
Nursing home now.
Yeah, you could go to the administrator
Yeah, I
there
would
and
talk
say,
to them
hey,
first.
Under Esther's Law, remember that word, Esther. Esther's Law, I think I can put up a Ring camera to keep an eye on whatever your relative and see what they say.
Visitors.
Yeah, no.
Better.
We'll see what they say. I understand. I think that's a great idea.
I
really
totally
is.
get it.
Thanks.
All right.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. I think that's a good idea because, you hear so many nightmare stories.
Yeah.
It's just a good idea. You're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Hello.
Hey, Ron, I'm with you, the lady with the car.
Yeah.
I'm in the car business. I don't care if that car's 20 years or not. Those kind of miles, that car's a $5,000 to $7,000 car.
Right. And, when you donate it, they're either they're going to sell it for that or usually they crush it and take the scrap value.
Yeah, I mean, she should sell it and keep $5,000 and donate $2,000 to her favorite charity or something. That car's worth a lot of money.
Right. I mean, and would you not agree that kids it used to be a lot easier for younger people. Cars got expensive and used cars did for somebody 16, 17-year-olds to find an affordable used car.
That's what we're selling. We're selling cars with 150,000 miles on for $5,000. Thank you. So, yeah, that car's worth more than she thinks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you chimed in. I hope she's listening to you.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. So there you go, guys. I mean, there's a big demand out there for affordable cars with low miles.
Sure.
Just because it's old doesn't mean it doesn't still have usefulness. Just look at DeVecchio. He's not a young guy. He still's got usefulness.
Okay, Ron. I'm still way younger than you. You're old enough to be my dad.
Really?
I'm joking.
Right. I don't know that I can even get over that one now.
All right.
I mean,
now we're even.
hang on a second. That one kind of hurt a little bit. That's like taking a punch straight to the gut on that one. With attorney Mark DeVecchio and Frank Cassis joining us tonight till 6 on the Legal Show, brought to you by Beatrice Cop. The boys are in rare form. You got a legal question or comment for them? Call me right now. I have 3 lines in Youngstown open for your comments or questions to our attorneys tonight. Here's our top secret number as always, 330-729-9977, 330-729-9977. We'll get you on board, and I'll hook you up with our attorneys. Child support, divorce, custody, estates, wills, trusts, the contractual issues, whatever issue you might have as far as the law is concerned. Pick up the phone, give me a call right now, and I can serve up some free legal advice courtesy of Beatrice Kopp. 330-729-9977. 330-729-9977. I have 3 lines open, so you call, you get through right now before we have another half hour of the program to go, and we never get the calls on. We always run out of time before we run out of calls. So that's why I always like to kind of give you guys an update as we go along here. 330-729-9977 will get you through to us. 330-729-9977 from News Radio 570 WKBN. All right. Hello there. You're on the air.
Yeah, I got a concealed carry permit question. My license expires in January. Can I still renew it, or are you
don't
doing
need it
away
in
with
Ohio.
You can renew it, though.
You could, yeah, you can absolutely renew it.
But the laws changed.
Yeah,
right,
but
Frank?
yeah,
but you don't need it.
You don't need it, but you could.
So you don't need it then? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
No
But
problem.
you can. I believe you can still renew them if you
Yeah,
want to.
no, he
though.
could absolutely.
All right, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of
I'm sorry,
renewing
Mark.
them if you don't need one?
Mark, you'd have to call in if you want to ask a question. That's how it works. I don't mean to try to throw some
He's
something
totally
down
mad
here.
at me now for that last comment. He's not-
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
him.
I mean, this is the way the program works, Mark. Unless you call in,
I'll
Frank,
call on
we
my
can't
cell
allow.
phone.
Well, Frank, we're not going to answer his question. It's just unacceptable to Frank and me both.
I think the
Mark,
public
if you
wants
think
to
you can
know.
cut in line, and just ask a question without calling in, Mark, that's where, right, Frank, we put our foot down. We say no. Frank and I, Frank and I have had enough of your smart aleck-like approach, haven't we, Frank? All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Hello there.
Yes. This is a divorce question.
Yes.
My daughter just went through a divorce.
How long was
The
she
court-
married?
12, 13 years.
Okay.
The courts awarded her $60-some thousand as a settlement because they had a house, and that was the equity built up in the house. The money went to the attorneys and not to her, even though the judge awarded her the money. Is that proper?
Okay. Wow, there's a lot involved. Okay, so when a lawyer represents you, their services are not for free. So typically you have to pay a
Right.
retainer and you pay an hourly rate. And depending on what you negotiate with your lawyer, you're responsible to pay them for their service. Now, relative to what the court ordered that your daughter is getting 1/2 of the equity in the house. So if the house is a marital asset, they divide the equity. So that's where the 60,000. If there's a disparity in income on a 13-year marriage, she'd probably get a few years of spousal support if he makes a lot more than she does. If there's children, they have to provide for the allocation of the care and custody of the children and divide the debts. Now, your question is, she got this 60 grand and it went to the lawyers. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know that I have a right answer for that because I
there's
don't
not
know.
a great answer there. I mean,
Yeah, there's no.
you
That's
wouldn't
a
know
lot
what
of
their
money.
fee arrangement was, right? Yeah,
She
unfortunately.
should have signed a contract with the lawyers that spell out how much she has to pay the lawyers. But the court ordered or awarded that money to your daughter, not to the lawyers. But she had an obligation to pay her lawyers. So I don't.
Where
yeah,
was
but
this
I
at?
mean, what
What
area?
count-
It
what
was in
county?
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's a
Beaver
Commonwealth.
County.
That's a Commonwealth.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, if 60,000, do you think the lawyers got all?
Well,
Did she pay a retainer for these guys?
I'm not really sure of that, but what she wound up getting out of the 60,000 was 16,000. The attorneys took 50,000.
Yeah, sir. Unfortunately, this is one of those scenarios where we have no idea what the retainer arrangement was with her
or
lawyers.
the issues.
Right,
We don't know if
yeah.
there were a number of other
It
issues.
could have been
or
a complicated divorce. I don't know if there was assets involved. we can't really speak to somebody's fee. Does it sound large? Yes,
Yeah.
It does.
but we don't know the specifics of the case. We don't know.
Well,
how
let me
many
ask you a
hours,
question,
how they build
Frank.
it. Yes, sir.
He said attorneys. Were there more than one for her?
Well, it was a firm. It was a firm out of Allegheny County.
And she got a settlement, and she got 16,000. You know what? Didn't she ask her attorneys to say, wait a minute, what's going on here?
I mean, a
To get an explanation?
$49 fee on a divorce case is excessive, depending on what your issues are.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to
Stand by, caller.
Yeah.
Hang on. We will address that some more after the break, because that's worth addressing with Attorney DeVecchio. He's like a son to me, and Frank, who's like a grandson.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something that's wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The day's news.
We didn't need the National Guard.
The President of the United States has a responsibility to maintain law and order, particularly when the lives and livelihoods of federal law enforcement officers are threatened.
We can't call in the National Guard unless we're requested by a governor.
Day 2 of U.S.-China trade talks in London are said to be going well.
Check in each hour. Let's get going.
The clock is ticking on Iran.
The day's news.
They seek enrichment.
Is on.
We can't have enrichment.
News Radio 570. WKBN.
The tariff deadline set by President Trump is tomorrow. He announced he has given Mexico a 90-day extension after he spoke with the country's president today. Earlier in the week, Trump refused to offer deadline extensions as he pushes for countries around the world to agree to trade deals. Inflation was on the rise last month. Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, a key inflation gauge used by the Federal Reserve, rose 0.3%, the biggest increase in 4 months. That puts the annual PCE inflation rate at 2.6%. Funeral services are being held for the police officer who was killed during the mass shooting in New York City on Monday. Video shows a large turnout for the service at a mosque in Parkchester for Officer Didrul Islam. The 36-year-old was off duty but working a security job that day in the Park Avenue building when the gunman entered and shot him. And Lollapalooza kicks off today at Grant Park in Chicago. The annual music festival runs through Sunday. I'm Chris Coraggio.
Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, news, talk, and sports radio. Podcasts, too. Download the app. Free never sounded so good. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Guardians are wheeling and dealing on trade deadline day. They sent pitcher Shane Bieber to Toronto for a prospect, and they dealt reliever Paul Sue all to the Tigers. The Cavs have released their 25-26 preseason schedule. Cleveland has 4 tune-up games set starting October 7th at Rocket Arena against Bulls. And the NFL preseason, it'll kick off tonight when the Chargers take on the Lions. That's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame game in Canton. I'm Scott Davidson.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 or older. Age and eligibility vary by jurisdiction.
This program is furnished by the program participants.
Now, Ron Verb on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, we're back at it. 532 News Radio 570 WKBN. Welcome to the Legal Show, brought to you by Beatrice Kopp. Here tonight till 6 o'clock, answering your legal questions at 330-729-9977, 330-729-9977. I would ask this to both of you guys. When this guy's talking about, let me bring him back up on my line here. When he's talking about this, the fee, she's entitled to get some details of what's going on here. I was awarded $60-something thousand, and you're giving me $16,000. you took $50,000 of
Yeah,
what I was awarded. She's entitled to some explanation, billing of why so much was taken.
Yeah, so I think that's what you have to see if there's a fee agreement in place, an engagement letter, whatever it may be, and are they billing her hourly? And if they are billing her hourly, and that's the hourly rate, and that's what it comes to, I would ask for an itemized bill. There's some things you can do, but
now a lawyer does have discretion.
Yeah.
To either charge a flat fee or an
Right, it
hourly.
may not be
fee,
hourly.
Or, yeah, it depends on what your agreement is with your lawyer. So I mean, and we don't have the caller still on the line, or do we? If that's
we do. But let
I'm
me ask you
still
a
here.
question. How long did it go on in court? The divorce. How long did it take?
Oh, years.
Years.
Well, there you go. And how long were they married? 13 years. Why did a 13-year marriage take years to resolve?
Well, it was the attorneys. My daughter, she had a briefcase full of evidence against him and just all kind of stuff. What he made, how much money he made, how much time he spent with his son.
Were there kids? That's what I was going to ask you. Were
all
there
kind
kids
of
involved?
evidence. And the attorneys never put it forth. She's had two or three hearings in the last 2 years.
And that was it. That was it. 2 or 3 hearings.
Yeah, every time she's gone, she loses. She had evidence of him making $200,000 a year, and he lied about how much money he made, and he just some of the stuff. It was just ridiculous.
All right, so it sounds like a tortured case. It sounds like the opinions were diametrically opposed to each other.
Right.
Your daughter was saying he makes $200,000. He was probably claiming he makes minimum wage. And then it gets into a battle of experts and evidence and the credibility of the evidence. You have a child, so I'm sure there was an element because everything else was strained. I'm sure the custody aspect of that case didn't go smoothly, so they fought over that.
Yeah, the other thing could be, I don't know if this occurred, but if there were depositions, if they had to do things where, what may be in that fee that they collected is reimbursement for upfront expenses. I don't know that. Again, we're just speculating as to how
Get an itemized bill, right?
Yeah, and when you're talking about she had evidence of this and evidence of that, we don't know what was presented. So it wasn't a long-term marriage, 12, 13 years.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, caller.
This is my question. If the courts awarded her $60,000, shouldn't that money go to her, and then she?
Typically, yes, but are you certain that the money went to him? I mean, the money could have gone to her, and then she had to pay the lawyers, right? I mean, we don't. Again, this is speculation.
It's her money. It's her money, and she had out of that money she had to pay the lawyers.
Right. She may have said
the check was probably issued to both the lawyer and the client.
Right.
So to protect the lawyer's fee.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and then I'll move along. You need to get an itemized bill, and next divorce she needs to get a better lawyer because she lost on every case. She paid a boatload of money and she lost. All right.
Right. Well, this was the second attorney she had, and the second one was supposed to be so good. They did forensic studies and all kind of crap.
Well, that's
but they didn't follow through.
That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. For what's a forensic study, Mark? I didn't even know what that is.
Well, forensic is when they
in a
look
divorce,
it'd be like a forensic accounting.
Yeah, you look behind the scenes, under the evidence, in the history of the case to try to determine how they are in the present.
Right.
So it's a review of kind of evidence that's not always on the surface. You have to dig for it. And sometimes it involves going back in time a little bit to try to figure out how you arrived at where you're at. That's a forensic investigation.
Yes.
And let me just say this on behalf of that caller, on behalf of all of you. I wish I could clone Attorney DeVecchio. I genuinely do, and we could make more Mark DeVecchio's attorneys because he's a decent man. All right, and Mark is a decent man, and the reality is, Mark will tell his clients how much time and money do you want to spend arguing over this piece of property? I mean, you operate from the client's best interest, Mark, right? I mean,
yes.
I mean, you kind of say, listen, we can't. How much legal hours do you want to run up arguing over a $1,000 TV?
Listen,
So
yeah, I try to be very practical, pragmatic, and user friendly. Nobody wants to spend a lot of money on their lawyer. However, if the amount you spend is a reasonable amount and you have a favorable outcome, well, then it's worth it. Some cases, when you're talking about a 12 or 13-year marriage, I don't know why you want to create issues that are going to cost you $50,000.
Right.
Unless
only
there's
so much
a million
money.
to get.
Exactly. Right. That's what I was trying to ask about. There are businesses involved, assets involved, because at the end of the day, you could do a forensic accounting. You're going to pay a lot of money for a forensic accountant to do that review. And what are you getting out of it at the end of the day?
And those guys won't even talk to you till you stroke them a $5,000 check, and then they're going to hit you with like $15,000 to do an evaluation.
Right. Yeah, the $5,000 is the upfront fee.
Up front, yes. So that's probably almost half of that retainer right there.
but what disturbs me is that that was taken and she doesn't know what the bill is and why, and she should get some details. They do owe her that. They absolutely owe her that. Agreed?
Agree.
All right. Thank you. Onward we go. News Radio 570 WQEN. You're on with our attorneys tonight. Hello.
Ronald, I have a similar question, but I would also like to add, remember last week Beatrice told us what an itemized bill is. Recall his comment on that?
No. Oh, yeah, I do. I do.
It's
I do.
$1 to do something, and then 99.
Beatrice's famous quote is
yeah.
He says to you, "You don't pay me to turn 99 screws. You pay me to know what one screw to turn." So you're paying for
Correct.
his experience or whatever, or
And that's
knowledge.
true, too,
Well,
though.
no,
That's
and
true.
I think that is with a good lawyer. I do think this, and I've learned that over the years. What he means by that is you can pay somebody and they can throw a bunch of busy work at you and say, look, I did X, Y, and Z for you. But really, at the end of the day, did all this work and the result's not all that great. Or you can pay somebody and you can get a tremendous result, and it can take a day or a week.
But
or
you
10
only
minutes.
get that tremendous
But
result
that's
because of the
that
reputation of the lawyer that's
Exactly.
been around.
So
And
those are earned in the legal community. Reputations are earned. They're earned by reviews from your clientele, from peers,
and
judges.
battles fought.
Yeah, right. So there's a real thing to that. I mean, that's why certain lawyers can walk in a room and command an upfront retainer of X, and you can say, well, I called 10 other lawyers and they were going to charge me this, and the response is, go to the 10 other lawyers then.
Right.
If you want me, come hire me.
Right.
All right.
Right. So I don't know. So my point was, I'm not sure that itemized bill would.
Well, in a divorce case, it's a
under my
little bit
question.
different. It's a little bit different in a divorce case. David's referring to different scenarios. Billable hours are much different than an
Well, you
a
could take
flat
flat fees
fee.
on divorce
you
cases
could,
as well,
for
so-
sure, and it may be. I mean, I
And
couldn't imagine.
dissolutions and
Right.
things like that.
Well,
Sometimes it starts out as a divorce, it turns into a dissolution, but the fee kind of remains the same because the outcome's the same.
Exactly. Yeah. But I do think that I've heard David talk about that, and that context I think is a little different than what the caller was describing. But you're right. There may be the gentleman that called, his daughter may have had really high-end lawyers that I mean, he may have not thought they did a good job, but maybe in hindsight they did, or who knows what he was paying for. But I think the most important thing is you got to understand, did you get a fee arrangement where it was billable, or was it a flat fee? He doesn't know any of that as he calls today. So
right.
But I'm suspicious.
I get it. I understand.
I mean, they lost on every point, and she paid $50,000. I would demand a refund. I believe
She
lawyers
should have hired Ron Verb.
Exactly. There you go. Okay, what's your question?
Okay. My question, similar situation. In a dissolution, what are the requirements of a financial disclosure? So that maybe the other party's not hiding something.
Okay. Well, understand a financial disclosure is a sworn affidavit that has to be signed under oath, and it's notarized, and you are stating that the document is filled out truthful to the best of your knowledge. Okay. The domestic relations court is a court of equity. So being that it's a court of equity, it's not a court of punishment. Nobody's looking to punish anybody. Domestic relations exists to disentangle people that are married in an equitable fashion. They rely on your disclosures in the form of affidavits to determine if what they're doing is equitable. Now, if you lie on a financial affidavit and you could prove that somebody's lying with the intention of denying the other party an asset that they would otherwise be entitled to, that's called financial misconduct. So if you lie on the affidavit and it could be proven, and you could prove that the lie is blatant to deny someone something that they'd be entitled to, then you could petition the court for a disproportionate award, saying, listen, I was looking to split this up 50-50. I wanted it to be equitable, but this person's not playing fair. They're playing games. They're hiding stuff. They signed an affidavit swearing that it was true, but I could prove that it's not, and they have triple what they stated on that affidavit. Now, when the court divides the assets on that case, it's not going to be 50-50. They're going to reward the party that has followed the rules and punish the party that doesn't. So that's the only time the domestic relations court worries about punishment, when there's financial misconduct or when somebody violates a court order and is found in contempt. Those are really the only two times domestic relations court worries about punishing people. So
basically, you've got to be able to prove that there was a falsification on the affidavit.
Exactly. Yes. So my advice is always to answer those, fill out those truthfully, because it's not worth it. If you get caught, you're going to get tagged.
All right. So you're on the air with Attorney DeVecchio and Frank Cassis. Hello.
Yeah, I'm back to the Ohio concealed carry.
Yes.
There is a need for the concealed carry. If you cross the state line into Pennsylvania without that concealed carry permit, you're in violation. There's 38 states that accept and acknowledge the Ohio concealed carry permit.
Yeah,
so
that's,
you have to go
you
ahead
have
and get that renewed
reciprocity.
because you're good. You're good in 38 more states.
Right. You have reciprocity in different states, but I think his question was carrying in Ohio. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, for Ohio.
Right,
but if
you want to carry in
across
other
the line,
states,
you're
absolutely.
Well, he's
But you've
answering
got-
my question.
Right, but if you have to check, right? I mean, so you have to know what states you have reciprocity in with an Ohio concealed carry, where you can actually take that weapon.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent
Yeah,
advice.
but there is a need. There is a need
No,
to have the
listen.
permit.
I have mine. I don't need it.
What, do you renew it? You better.
I do, but I don't
All right.
I don't carry my gun all that much, honestly, Ron.
All right. Well, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're on the air with our attorneys. Hello.
Hi, is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hi. This is a landlord-tenant question. I have a young friend. She's not my generation, but anyway, she's a single mom, and so she had to live in a certain school district. So she rented a house, and the landlord, she found out that her neighbor was paying only half of what she was paying, but nevertheless, she couldn't afford it eventually, and so she decided to move out, okay? And he's charging her, I know you get charged for cleaning or whatever it is, when you rent a house. He's charging her $10,000 because he replaced all the carpeting with flooring.
How much did she pay?
Is
All
that
right,
even
so-
legal?
No, all right. I was previously a landlord in my other life. I had a fourplex. So there are very specific rules. Depending, you really can't charge a tenant to paint. You should paint every time you get a new tenant.
Normal wear and tear.
Normal wear and tear. If there is something beyond normal wear and tear to the carpet that was caused by the previous tenant, they may be on the hook for it.
Like burn marks,
paint spilled. If you
Bleach,
had pets and it's terrible, you could be assessed that. If the carpet, depending on the amount of time that the carpet's been in service, the landlord's responsible to
Sure.
change that every so
and
many years
how
anyway
big
at nobody's
is the
cost
place
at their
she
own.
was- Are you kidding?
How
He's
big is the place she was
responsible
staying
to change that? Wow.
How long did she live there?
damaged it.
She probably lived there close to a year. She has daughters. They were in school and everything. And so she did tell me that there was one carpet in the one room. There was like a hole in the carpet or something. It was damaged. She expected to replace that or to get that, whatever the charge would be. But what he did, he ripped out all the carpeting, got brand new floor in the house, and now he wants $10,000.
Just out of curiosity, how big was the space she was staying in? Was it a house? Was it an
was
apartment?
maybe 2-bedroom house, 2 or 3 bedroom house.
Yeah, I mean, ranch, 2 stories.
1 floor.
All right. So first of all, it sounds to me like a $10,000 bill is excessive to replace carpet. You can't replace carpet with tile or hardwood. Okay. So if that's what happened, that wouldn't be acceptable.
And it would have to be a lateral, whatever the carpet was. It would have to be
yeah,
the same
you replace
carpet.
it
You
with what
can't
it was.
upgrade it and then charge assess that.
That doesn't sound right. That sounds really excessive. I mean, what did she pay in rent a month, for goodness sake?
Yeah, it comes down to normal wear and tear.
Yeah, that's
and a year, you're not going to have that much wear and tear.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense to me either. So how does
Go
she?
get a
How does
lawyer.
she answer that?
She's got to go get a lawyer. You got to fight that.
Okay.
Fight it.
So she's gonna have to. Okay. Does your agency handle that?
Yeah,
type
she
of
can
thing?
call the firm 330-746-8484. Just someone will help her out.
Okay, I'm sorry I said agency. I meant firm.
No,
I apologize. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's very helpful.
Thank you.
I didn't know that. Okay.
It sounds like a total ripoff. So, he rips out the carpeting, puts down hardwood or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy.
And, I wanted to ask her, was it new carpeting when she moved in or was it already, somebody else had lived on it? I mean, it just sounds like they just want to rip her off, but she shouldn't pay it.
Tenants are not generally responsible for replacing old or worn out carpeting due to normal wear and tear. Landlords are responsible unless the carpet was damaged beyond normal wear and tear due to the tenant's actions or neglect.
I mean, I'm of the opinion, even if she damaged every carpet in the entire house, it's not $10,000.
Wait, no, be careful because I ripped out the carpet upstairs and I want to put in hardwood floors and I can't. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but hardwood.
Well, yeah.
No, but I'm not even I'm talking about not even hardwood, just getting
carpet.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
no.
not carpet.
Right. I know
Laminate.
what you're talking
Laminate.
about.
Yeah,
right.
that's
But
a
I'm
lot of
saying
money.
though, it's got to be. You have to it's apples to apples. So if you're gonna say I'm gonna tear out carpet, you have to replace it with carpet, and you can't put a Persian rug in if you had discount carpet.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? I find it hard to believe.
She should seek someone to advocate on her behalf. That sounds like something that if she gets somebody to protect her, that'll go away.
Right. That's excessive.
Yeah, don't pay it though. I
No,
mean, you
heck
can
no.
demand it, but don't they also he has to give her an itemized bill of why he's keeping what he's keeping with her
So if-
deposit
sure,
anyway?
security deposit, and then you have to say what was damaged and why you're entitled to this money. And I mean, I got to imagine that the $10,000 is above and beyond any security deposit she has.
Oh yeah, that's more than the first
Yeah.
last month's rent.
So
Right. I mean, and she can't go to small claims either because of the amount, right?
no, it's 10,000. Well, so
Well, she's
the way
defending
that
it,
it works,
so-
she's defending
Yeah.
it. So
Or he.
yeah. So what's going to happen is he files a complaint for forcible entry and detainer, and then a damages hearing second, which would be after the eviction.
And he's probably holding on to her security deposit
right.
anyway. So
It's probably
she's probably out that,
Yeah.
but
So he's got to get a lawyer to sue her to get the 10 grand if she
Depends.
doesn't
It
pay.
depends. If he is doing it in his individual capacity, like if he owns houses but he doesn't have it in an LLC, he can represent himself. If he's an LLC, he needs a lawyer.
correct. You cannot represent an LLC if you are not a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. And well, it should be that.
News Radio
Wait
570
a second.
WKBN.
All right. Thank you. Just in case you didn't know, you're on the air. Caller. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, hello there. You're on the air.
I made a will about 10 or 15 years ago, and I paid for it, and I had a witness and everything, and the lawyer died. Do I have to make another will, or would that one be okay?
That's
Do you have your old one?
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
her lawyer died.
Oh yeah, then you're good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, I'm good? Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to make a new one.
Oh, that's all I wanted to know. That's good.
All right. Thank you. In that case, so, I mean, don't you think a lot of people that have wills, just in general, guys, you better make sure that somebody knows where it's at when you die.
Well, that's for sure.
Well, that's
you
why
better
we
make
said
sure
you
you know
have
where
it.
it's at.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, the bottom line is if your circumstances haven't changed, if you still have the same beneficiaries, if you still intend to have the same division of your assets at your demise, then you don't need to do a new will just because the person that drafted it is no longer
Right.
here.
Some people get like spooked too because they think, well, I did the will 20 years ago or 10 years ago. The lawyer passed away. Like it needs updated. Honestly, if nothing's changed, it doesn't need updated
No.
unless you want to change the way it's done. Presuming you went, got it done the right way the first time.
Right.
Right, but I mean, you so many people put them away somewhere, and when they die, the person, the sons or daughters, can't find it.
No,
Don't know
that's
where they
that's
put
a
it.
fact. I mean, I always tell people if you do that, listen, keep one in a filing cabinet, a safety deposit box, a safe that someone has access to or knows, and then give copies to the people that take from it.
Yeah, have a place
Right.
where you keep important papers.
And
put
have
it all
copies of it, so there's more than one laying around.
Right.
Well,
So you-
but
so
you know
you can
what? When
find
it
it.
comes to copies and wills, that you're getting a little sketchy
Well,
now.
you are.
You're
You
really
have to
not
know where the
supposed to have a lot of
original-
copies of your will.
No, but at least if they have that, it's something to go by and then say, okay, here's a copy for you, but the original will is here.
Yeah, you're not going to. Your a copy is not going to
Yeah.
be. What's the word I'm looking for?
Best evidence?
No, it's certainly not best evidence, and they may not honor a copy.
Yeah, it's not the
They
original.
need the original.
They want the original.
Yeah, and what do they do? Take the original, and does that go to the probate court then when you die?
You could file
The
it with
original?
you could file it with the clerk of courts. You could file it with probate.
No,
or
I mean when you die, if let's say I have a copy of the original will of the person who died, do I then and does your attorney, when you hire an attorney to go to probate, does he turn that original over to the probate court?
Yes, if there are probate issues, you will have a certified copy of the death certificate and a copy of the will, and then you'd have to file all the paperwork. You'd have to notify all the prospective beneficiaries. You have to, depending on if the assets are probate assets or not.
Right.
So that it depends on what you're trying to divide.
Yeah, and then there's going to be an administrator
Right.
or executor,
Which would have been
executrix.
identified in your will. You
Yes.
identify your executor and that or executrix, and that person is responsible to walk that through for you to make sure your wishes are adhered to.
Yes.
And don't you have to have more than one in that case in case that
don't
person
have to, but
would
most
die
people
too?
do.
You don't have to, but it's a good idea to designate one and then an alternate backup if the one cannot or chooses not to act as the executor or executrix.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you ready for this, Frank? And I believe, like, for example, if you're in Ohio and let's say your kids are out of state, I think your executor has to be in Ohio, do they not? As opposed to, let's say your kids are in
I don't know
Tennessee.
that that's a rule. I don't know that that's a rule, but it makes it harder for your executor or executrix to administer your will if they're out of state.
Yeah, and if it's under the terms of Ohio, like if it's governed by Ohio law, you would just have to carry out the will through the probate courts in Ohio.
So you can maybe your executor can live out of state.
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I had always heard that they prefer, if you're in state, that was
I don't know if
preferable.
that's with
but
an executor of a will, Ron. I think that's an administrator of an estate. So I think where that applies is if you are going to if you're going to apply to be the administrator of an estate, like the estate of Ron Verb.
I think what it is actually, you can live outside of the state. Ohio law permits non-residents, particularly if they're related by blood or marriage
for
or
an
adoption.
executor, right?
Yes, for executor.
I think what Ron's saying is an administrator of an estate, you have to live in Ohio. So if you open up a wrongful death lawsuit, okay, somebody passes away, you're going to be the administrator of the estate. In the lawsuits in Ohio, you need to live in Ohio.
And if you're a non-resident executor, you may have to post a bond or have an in-state co-executor to work with you. So yes, it can be done under certain circumstances, but there may be additional requirements.
Right. I mean, and everyone should have one. Boy, it's a mess if you die and you don't have one.
You just really cause your
At
family
least
a
it will.
lot of heartache.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because then the court has to determine everything, and it might not be what you want. You never know when you're going to go. I mean, a will is the least that you should do for your for the people you leave behind. So let's put it that way. Be a good idea. And
I agree.
All right, guys, I think I've had about enough of both of you.
What are you doing this weekend, Ron?
Well, I think the house band is going to be playing. Where's the house band playing?
The Youngstown Italian Fest. Sunday
That's
night.
where they're. That's where they are. Sometimes I go to the Youngstown Italian Fest.
I think you should.
I love
think I've
going
seen
to
you there. I think I may have bought you a beer there once or twice.
maybe more than one.
Right.
Yes, I love going to the Italian Fest. I love the food. I like going there and getting a good gyro. I like getting some baklava, some baba ganoush. My favorite.
You can stir fry.
yeah, some stir fry. My favorite food that I love getting at the Italian Fest. You mean? Just kidding, Mark DeVecchio. Just kidding.
I know.
All right. Thank you, Mark. You're the best.
Ron.
I get to take care of Beatrice's business tomorrow morning on the news. So we're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. Yep. So
all right.
should be interesting.
Mark, you're the best. I love you. Mark DeVecchio
Ron.
and Frank Assis, you're fantastic. They're great lawyers and great men.
All right, Ron. Thanks.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
It was a normal day.
He was in some mind.